And hello there, College Park, and to all those who may be interested in what I'm about to share with you. As you all know, on January 20th, 2025, the same day as inauguration, I have proposed and announced my candidacy for City Council for Ward 2 in the city of College Park, Georgia. And as serious as I was about it and still am, I wanted to make that declaration on Inauguration Day because I did not believe in our president that we have. And I wanted to do something else besides acknowledge the fact that he was being inaugurated. And like everything else, we have to deal with the circumstances, right? So while we are still involved in a second Trump era or Trump presidency and carrying on, I had decided to take my time and I wanted to forge forth and bring forth a candidacy that I thought was going to improve College Park Ward 2. In the coming days, and since that time, I was very adamant about my candidacy. However, as you all know, when it came down for qualifying, I chose not to qualify because there was a better opportunity that came at stake. And what do I mean by that? The better opportunity is I, unlike many other people, I want to look at College Park as a whole. Everything that I do is about the greater good for the city, the greater good for the city. Now, those of you who don't like me or are, side eyeing me and carrying on, or those who don't, but who did not believe in my candidacy to begin with, y'all may sit up there, maybe twiddling your thumbs, or you may sit up here and think that I'm giving a whole bunch of hogwash or whatever at this particular time. However, that there is your prerogative to do so. I'm here to tell you exactly why I did not qualify and exactly why I believe that having Joe Kahn in office is going to be the best thing for College Park at this time. I had a sit down with Joe, and I told him the very reasons why I was running against him. And like I told everybody else, if he were running for mayor, he would have my undying support 1,000%. And I told him that. I said, Joe, you are fabulous for the city of College Park because of the work that you have done. You have brought the African delegate here. You have brought the Asian delegate here. Everything that Joe has done as far as his work is concerned has been to elevate the city of College Park. And for that, I applaud him. But what he has done for Ward 2, in my opinion, honey, he sucks as a Ward 2 representative. And I told him that. I said, that's the reason why I'm running. I said, because you do not have your ear to the pulse of society here in Ward 2. Everything is about the College Park, the greater good. And that's why I was running. And after having that conversation, a long, honest conversation with him, he and I had come to an agreement. And I told him, I said, listen, the reason why I believe me helping you to have a candidacy or me lending my support to you is because should I win, I said, I have enough people to where I can probably win this because there's a number of people who don't want you there in office and they believe in me. I said, but the problem that I'm going to face is that the higher ups, all of our state representatives and all of those who we need to have in our back pocket to move and shake some things here in the city of College Park. Joe Kahn's already have those relationships. His almost 16 years in office and all of that he's done politically, he has built those relationships to where he got them on a phone call. He could get this done. He could get that done. And I would have to be rebuilding all of that. I would have to start completely from scratch to try to build those relationships with folks who don't know me. Folks who don't know Demetrius Taylor, they may know the antics and carrying on of who I am. They may have seen, me being loud and, flamboyant and boisterous and all of those kind of things. But when it comes down to understanding how to get some things done, I have to build those relationships. And that there will probably take me a little bit more time than I would have imagined. And not being ignorant to that and accepting that as a fact, I told Joe, listen, that would be one of the reasons why if I step back, that I would lend my support to you because you already have those relationships. But I also told him this. I know that all of those who don't like me and all of my adversaries and things of that nature, which is why they did not support me, they went and found Lucretia to run against us. My reputation is going to be hit. A lot of you may sit up there and think, oh my God, he's going to be colluding, and y'all would love to use the word corruption. And y'all going to say that I'm corrupted and this, that, and the other and all of that. But you know what? Y'all can say what y'all want to say. Because I know my heart and I know exactly what I want to do here with the city of College Park. Okay? The thing that's going to be different about Joe's candidacy than any other time that he has ever ran for office is that this time he has me. This time, Joe Connor's going to have me in his ear. I'm going to stand as his personal accountability partner. That there's what I told him to his face, and I'm telling all of you. One of the things that I stand on is this. I stand on the fact that, listen, Joe, if we can sit down and talk, if you and I can sit down and talk and you actually listen and implement some of the things that I say, we can sit down and flesh out ideas and stuff that's going to be great for Ward 2. If you are willing to do that, I would be willing to step back and to let you take this, because what has happened is those who are adversarial to me and to Joe were looking forward to me being in so that we could split the vote. Those of you who put your trust behind Lucretia thought that it was going to be advantageous for her because the vote would have been between Joe and me, and it would have split the vote, and it would have given her the opportunity to take this election. I don't believe that Lucretia's candidacy is ready for such a task. Lucretia came out of nowhere. She's come out of nowhere. I've listened to her talking points. I've listened to some of the things that she's trying to do and say or whatever, and she's not saying anything. She is a bunch of fluff. She is just that standard political fluff that we hear all the time. Oh, yeah, we need change. Oh, yes, I'm for... I want to make sure that, we get rid of slum landlords, and we want to make sure that the taxes don't be raised. She is all of that. She's fluff. She's political fluff. Okay? She doesn't have the experience or the know-how of College Park. As far as I'm concerned, these are just my personal observations that you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. But this is why I have to lend my support to Joe. Because she's come out of nowhere. Since I ran for mayor 2 years ago, I told all of my ballot mates then, everything that you said that you wanted to do for the city, do not become obscure. Do not get lost in the sauce, because if they did not know you prior to you being on the ballot, if you lost, make sure that the folks know what you're doing in case you want to run again, or in case you're building something in the city, so folks will know exactly who you are. Well, since my mayoral run, that's all I've done. I have been in the city. I've created a couple of different platforms to where you guys know I keep you informed of everything that's going on in the city, good, bad, or indifferent, whether I agree with it or not. Yes, a lot of it is all commentary, but I keep you guys abreast of what's going on. I show up at as many events as I can so we can make sure we have coverage. I still have not walked the bridge yet. That's coming. The new bridge that we have over Camp Creek and things, we have taken on the difficult task. I have shown you guys the area when we talked about the battery storage plant. I've gone down over there to the Bill Evans Field and saw the locks and stuff on the gates and this, that, and the other. I brought all of that to you so that we can tackle those things. Lucretia has not been anywhere. We have not seen her in the city. She has been living in her place since what? She's in the Hawthorne Station subdivision. That's a 2-year-old subdivision. When have we ever seen her at any city council meeting? When have we seen her in the community? When have I don't even know if she's even spoken to anybody. That's an elected official prior to her candidacy. So we don't know who she is, and we don't know exactly what she's going to do. And if we don't know anything about that, then I'm for certain that she's not going to have the chutzpah to want to build relationships with all of those on the state level and things that we're going to need, which is why I said to Joe, listen, I have to rebuild those relationships. No, not rebuild. I have to build those relationships with all of our elected officials on a county and state level. I have to build those. Now I know Commissioner Arrington. I'm friendly with him, but we don't have necessarily a relationship. I just know he's accessible. I can get to him, but that's one person. We're talking about all of our representatives. We're talking about, our senators, Senator Warnock and Oslow, who have done great things for College Park. They've been here. They've come down here to the city. Our elected officials have relationships with them that I have to build. And College Park is too crucial right now to be in the beginning stages of that. So I told Joe that if he keeps me on board in his ear, my goal is to be his personal assistant. That's my goal. Okay. And even though he has one of those, I want to work with his team so that should he get in office, which I'm sure he will win, once he's back in office, then I can hold his feet to the fire in the way that I can. Now, you guys know how I am. You heard my mouth, and I told Joe to his face, Joe, I'm not afraid of you. And I would go toe to toe with you on some things when it comes down to having no difficult conversations. So he and I agreed. He said, listen, he said, I'm not afraid of you either. He said, but I know that I can be old-fashioned and carrying on, but I need help. He said, I do need help to make sure that I have an ear to the ground and this, that, and the other. And if you're willing to help me, I said, Joe, I'm willing to help you because I know this is the best thing for the city. This is what's best. Otherwise, I'd stay in it. If I was not so concerned about building relationships with our other elected officials on the county and state level, I'm confident, but I would have to build those things in order for us to make some things happen. Because he already has those relationships, then I can learn from him. If I'm on his team, then he can teach me how to and get me into those things where I can learn that. So that in 4 years from now, when he wants to move on or whatever it is that he wants to do, if he decides not to run again, or if I decide to go against him again, I then have the relationship to where I can stand 10 toes down and waist deep and say, you know what? No, it's time for you to move on. That is the only reason why I decided to rescind my candidacy, because at this particular stage of the game, I think right now he would be the best candidate. And as I said right now, the only difference that's with this candidacy is that the last time that he ran, he didn't have me. And that may sound vain, that may sound arrogant, but I know how I am with this city. I know what my commitment level is to this city. And I know that my passion for this city, he and I think we match with our passion for this city. But I live right here in Ward 2. And as an apartment dweller, that all of you like to discount all the time, okay, as someone who lives here, who understands what it is to be a renter who don't own a home and this, that, and the other, who understands how it is to be called a transient income all the time, who understands that none of you guys come around to the apartment complexes until it's election time, who understands what it is that the can'ts, the ain'ts, the don'ts, and the won'ts always get ignored at election time because they don't cast the vote to put you in the winner's circle. I understand all of that. And I still stand on all of that because those are the people whose voices need to be heard. Now, I don't want nobody speaking for them. Their voices need to be heard. And I said all of this to Mr. Karn, and Mr. Karn said, I need you to help me to get to them so that I know how to govern right and how to govern better. So that's why I decided that I was not going to qualify this particular go round, and that's why I put my support behind Joe Karn, because he already has the qualifications, he had the relationships, he had the commitment that's needed. Now what he needs is a better team so that he can reach Ward 2 effectively. And right now he has me and my group that we can hold him to the fire, keep him accountable, and make him responsible so that we could come out of those photo op politics that I always talk about. I get tired of the photo op politics where we only come around for pictures because we doing backpacks and turkeys and toys and the little special stuff to say that we're doing something for po folk. Okay? So we want to change that perception. We want to change how that looks. We want to make sure that Ward 2 is going to have an adequate voice and that they have their place at the table like everybody else. And now for those of you who don't believe me, because of course this is so coincidental that my company, Dishing T Entertainment, has put a bid in for a contract. Yes, we did. We put a bid in. Uh, and it's coincidental that it happened at this particular time. But what a lot of you don't know is that this has been in development for quite some time. I've been putting this together when Cameron was our um, uh, communications director. When Cameron and I had talked, when she came to the College Park Citizens Association and explained her vision for the city, she and I began to talk there. Part of that is on the video where I asked her a question about her wanting to use TB23 and to create a news station because she has a journalism background. And so she and I have been working on that. She told me because of my podcast, she said, no, you are a journalist. You're a pop culture journalist, but we need you and your voice. And we were working on that then. So this is not something that's come out of the bag or something that has come out of the woodwork. I've been working on this for quite some time. As a matter of fact, it even goes before Cameron. I was trying to get on board with the communications department right after I had graduated from American Intercontinental University in 2019. At that particular time, Robin, I can't think of Robin's last name. She was our photojournalist at the time, and Mahershala had just come on board. And I forget, Gerald Walker was with us at that time, his first go round. It was someone else in the field. And at that particular time, I was trying to come on board as a volunteer to see how I can do because the department was short-staffed then. And we were told a couple of things and this, that, and the other, and it never happened. And I didn't take the right steps to find out how to get involved because what I was trying to do was going to usurp some things, so we thought, and we wanted to make sure that we had the best thing right for the city. So I killed it. Then came Cameron. When Cameron came in, she and I, we were bumping and going and things, and she and I were working on a project or whatever. She wanted to make sure that the funding came in so that she could develop the program. And then all of a sudden it died because she left. She had another opportunity and then she left. So now we're scrambling. And then came this particular opportunity. So it may seem like it's too coincidental to be a coincidence. However, the reality of it is that this came at a time to where, okay, let's make this happen. This is not going to be in place of our communications department. This here is in conjunction with, so that we can give the communications department an extra arm to do what it needs to do so that we can cover College Park. The goal is to cover College Park and to give College Park the fervor that it needs. So that we can create the College Park experience. That there is my goal. That's part of the creed of why I was running, of how to create a College Park experience so that each and every person who comes to our city, which happens to be College Park, y'all know I say that's Georgia's front door. Everybody who travels here by plane has to come through College Park. We're the front door. So we need to create a College Park experience that's like none other, so that when folks touch down here in Georgia, they know they can have that experience. So this here is an extension of my candidacy. It's just that I have a different platform that I want to do, which is going to be a bigger platform that I think I would flourish better in than just being at the dais. And as a matter of fact, at this particular stage of the game, I can still be a citizen and still say what I need to say without it becoming convoluted or whatever, or without it becoming anything else. Okay, so this has allowed me to go into another area to where the platform would be how I need it to be. Okay, in order for that matches my personality, that matches how it is, and how I deliver, and how I govern myself, and how I share information with the city of College Park. Because everything about what I'm doing is about the betterment of College Park. Now, for those of you who don't believe me, again, that's your choice. However, my name is Demetrius Dennis Taylor. And this is why my bid for city council, I chose not to, because I could have. I chose not to because I realized that in moving forward would have been selfish on my part. It would have been very egotistical because it would have said, okay, I'm just trying to go because I want to win just to have a title. This has nothing to do with no title. This here is about making sure we have what's best for this city. And for those of you who keep wanting to know what's going on, I'm going to ask you this question because y'all went out of y'all way to find Lucretia. Okay, you went out of your way to find, and this is I'm talking to all of my adversaries. Okay, because those of you who don't like me and carrying on, I realize that the gay thing is it's still a thing for you guys. For whatever reasons, the gay thing is still a thing. Okay, so whatever this is, that for whatever reason you guys chose to go and find Lucretia because you didn't want to support me. When you found out that I was going up against Joe. And everybody wanted Joe gone. Y'all been wanting Joe gone since 2023. You've been wanting Joe gone. But when you found out that I was running, those of you who are adversarial to me and want to laugh and this, that, and the other, you went out of your way to make sure you took your dollars to go and support someone else because you don't like me. And you don't like Joe. So, okay, that was your prerogative to do so. I'm not criticizing you on that. My point is that you went and found somebody who has done nothing for the city. No one knows who she is. No, she's coming out of the woodworks as she's brand new. She's only been here for 2 years. What has she done? That to be on the radar. We know her for coming up to the podium. She came up and prayed as she's been giving her political agenda when she comes down for public comments. That's all we know of her. What has she done for the city? What has she done in the city to say she's a part of it? I don't know what she's done. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because everybody got to start somewhere. It's just that if you're trying to go up against Joe Carnes, someone who has political stamina here, I could do it because I got political stamina. I've been on Bida. I work with Joe. I've worked in the community. I'm still over here in the Embarcadero on the citizens. Well, not the board, but I make our citizens awareness meetings that carrying on as many as I can that my schedule allow me. So I'm still in my community and folks know who I am. We don't know her. We don't know her and it's a gamble. And if we don't know her, that means she becomes a dangerous tool up there on that dais. Because then what happens is, because all of y'all who are my adversaries, most of y'all are Motley Broom supporters. And that's fine. But then what we end up having is this monopoly up there to where y'all think y'all going to control the council. And that there is what we're trying to stop. We need to make sure we get fairness up in there. We need to make sure we got folks up in there who are not afraid to handle the tough issues, that's not afraid to sit down there and go toe-to-toe with each other in love so that we can make sure stuff happens. We don't need nobody that's just going to push stuff around and this, that, and the other, because those of y'all who feel as though y'all are the powers that be can sit up there and monopolize that. That's very interesting, considering that most of you who are Motley Broom supporters are still trying to shut down Ward 2 to make it an at-large district, so that anybody can run for it. Y'all are still trying to push for that. Ain't that nothing? And I'm not having that. As long as I can stand it, we're not having that at all. Ward 2 needs to be heard like everybody else. It doesn't need to be at large, so that y'all can have controlling interest on that doggone dais. So that there is that. I purposely did it so that I see the bigger picture, and I know that what I done was the right move at the right time, because it's not about my ego. Because I could call a title. Okay, hell, everybody. I got friends that still call me mayor. They calling me Mayor Meach. Okay, from when I ran for mayor. So it's not about a title. Was nothing. It's about getting the work done. It's about getting that work done. And that there is what I'm committed to do. And I know that me being on top of Joe and being in his camp, me being in Joe Carnes' camp is going to be completely different, because I get to sit down with him and get to pull his coattails like nobody else can. I get to sit down there and tell him what's going on in the ward, so that he can be responsible for the ward like he needs to be. So that's why I decided to suspend my candidacy, because at this stage of the game, he would be the better qualified candidate because of his relationships. And that there is that. We got a lot of stuff done. A lot of y'all don't like what's being done. But as someone told me, for the first time, we are seeing upward movement with this council. We got movement, we got things getting done, and we're seeing folks starting to work with each other. And so we need to build on that momentum. So because of that, I can see the bigger picture, and I'm willing to sit down there and to be Joe Carter's accountability partner to make sure that these next 4 years are done at a way that we can really get some things done without it being so jambalaya and all over the place that we had in the last administration. So on that particular note, you understand, I purposely chose to support Joe because I believe overall that there is the betterment for College Park right now, not Lucretia. She's too new. She need to cut her teeth and need to get into some things. She need to serve on a couple of these boards. She need to really get down into the city before I can trust putting her up there on that dais. Y'all know me. Those of y'all who believe in me, I'm sorry if I disappointed y'all, because I know you believed that it was going to happen. But I ask you guys to trust me when I tell you, if you see the bigger picture, the way that I'm painting it, we can then get some things done. And it's not going to be easy because Joe is Joe and he's his own man. But I do believe that this particular go round, he is willing to sit down and is willing to listen and willing to activate some things so that it doesn't come from a place of old, because Joe is still old school. He's old politics. So he's thinking that he's coming into, it's just like how folks are with technology. We got to teach them how to Facebook and this, that, and the other. Now we AI, and so we got to teach how to do this. This is the same kind of thing. Joe is very old school. So with that, we got to take old school knowledge, blend it with the new school stuff, and come together for a cohesiveness so that it works and we can move the city forward. And I'm the person that's going to commit to being his accountability partner so that we can move the city forward. And there you have it. You heard that from me. If you have any questions, you know how to find me. Thank you.